Hey Strat fans, what's going on? It's me, Colonel Strat, the Strategy Extraordinaire here, and today I've decided to go on with my Lord series, my Lord guides. I'm going to be doing Alarielle here of the High Elves, so I've decided that what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch between Warhammer Game 1, Game 2, and then Game 3 to cover a Lord from each. And later on, I will start to do polls in my community section. All you guys have to do is just go there whenever I post it, and I'll crowdfund for one, and then we'll do a vote poll, and whichever Lord wins, that one I will do a guide on. So again, like if you guys like what I do, again, to remember to comment, and I'll take comments on the videos as well, not just on the community posts, into the pool, and then whoever is the most voted for, or that I see the most comments for, I will put into the vote pool. Sorry, I'm a bit under the weather today, so if my voice is a little raspy, I do apologize for that. So that's my plan going forward. And again, like the video, comment, tell me what you think. And any improvements I can make to make it better for you guys, I'm all for that. All right, so. For Alarielle, the big girl herself, the Everqueen. So she is the big mama to the High Elves. She's really, really good. For her DLC, the Queen of the Crown, I honestly think she was probably the better pick of the two, because she has a lot of good mechanics as well. She gains a bonus when all of Ulthuan is held by High Elves. So she gets like a faction bonus. I don't think it's like a unit bonus, but it's a big faction bonus that you'll have. And you do have penalties. There's a negative to that. You get penalties if Ulthuan is not held by High Elves. So that means Dark Elves, any other race. If it's any other race that owns parts of Ulthuan, that includes the outskirts, then she'll get penalties for that. But she does have a big intrigue debuff. A big intrigue buff. For court actions, +2 hero capacity for handmaidens. Her Invocation of Lilith increases casting and magic item drop chance, and she has a greater Invocation of Isha that has additional opponents for tree spirit units, because she can recruit like tree units from the Wood Elves roster. She also has an effect where wherever she lingers, like wherever she goes, she'll leave a bonus to that settlement. This usually is like a public order bonus, maybe a growth bonus, and it really does help to just campaign her around the map when you're not at war, so that you can get these bonuses to drop. Now she does have to stay in a settlement for it to pop, but as you can already see, she does a lot of bonuses to her campaign. She does still do a good amount of bonuses to her Sisters of Avalorn and Handmaiden units. Like the bonus 15% missile strength is insane. She does weaken as Chaos grows stronger, and that Mortal World's Torment is going to stack and give her some debuffs, but it's only to her, not to her army. Alright, now where she starts in the heart of Ulthuan, literally on this island going in the middle. So you're going to be focusing your entire campaign on uniting the donut, and after that, then you can branch out. We'll start up with showing you what to do with her first steps of the campaign.
I am the mother and the protector of Ulthuan.
Oh, well said, lady, my lady. Alrighty, so Avalorn, as you can see, there's already a little bit of changes due to compared to Tyrion, who starts down here in the south. So, where Alarielle starts, she has a pretty decent starting army, with some Sisters of Avalorn to help, some Dryads and some Treekin. Her use of Dryads is really useful because they have 20 more armor than Spearmen. So they already buff up that, and they also have a buff to melee attack with magic attack. So they do pretty well. So when I take this Handmaiden, I always put it in the army because it has replenish. And we'll always fight this army here.
Sound the horn of Isha.
And I usually do either ransom or forced labor. Forced labor to get some more sweet replenishment, so that we can do the next thing. So first we'll apply the skill point. So the skill point where it's going to go is either, I usually do Earthblood to start. You could, and then I'll go down like Inspiring Presence to get the Militia Master, the red lines. You want to go on the red lines, but she is a really good spellcaster for Lore of Life. So I usually start with Earthblood. Then the Handmaiden, I'll do replenishment. I usually do replenishment, and then I do growth, and then start down her yellow line. Alrighty, and then the next thing we do is we take Taurus Aurora here.
We fight for the greater good.
Usually, it depending on your difficulty, you could fight it, but it's usually a pretty easy fight because she starts with a decent amount of troops. And then, of course, for our starting buildings, we start with a landmark here, the World Route entrance, which gives us access to tree heroes, well, to tree units. And then I'll usually do an exotic animals. And I won't use any of these because these can all go in here. Any high elf, like lower tier recruitment buildings, I usually put in the minor settlements to save room for the higher tier recruitment buildings. And I'll start with a plaza, and then I'll also get an Elven Gardens, because then we get some more income from buildings. We get the nobles, and then if we upgrade it, we get some more nobles and some more cultural advancements. So we unlock technologies too. You always want to have courts in your main settlements, just because it increases your income insanely. Because the high elves can print money really easily. Alright, and now we got another point. I'll usually do Life Bloom, because this will heal combatants around the area whenever she casts a heal. So it just heals insanely. Or you could do Faw's Protection. That's also a good spell. Shield of Thorns is not as good as it used to be, because it just does damage reflection. Whereas Faw's Protection, I believe, yeah, it's a straight-on protection buff, like armor and melee defense. You can also do Shield of Safri, which gives you a ward save, damage resistance to all allies. So I usually do Life Bloom, though, just to start off with. And then, of course, stimulate growth. And then what you want to do before you end your turn is I would usually recruit Dryads for her. They perform better than Spearmen to start with. And that magic attack will do a lot to take out Nakari over here, because that magic attack will go right through his Demonette's physical resist. So once you get around here, you'll have to deal with him. Alright, so now that you've secured these parts of the turn, now you go to your first technology. Of course, you're going to have to do military advancements. I know, it sucks. The high elf technology tree is kind of bogus with how you have to unlock things first. But still, I mean, it's a nice way to like section it off into tiers. But I just don't think each technology is worth it. Like, all of these are just like recruit rank, and recruit rank isn't that exciting. Oh well, there's one that does a bonus, but most of these two are recruit rank. Like all three of these. And then like you get into tier 2, you have the fletching one, the Athilmar armor, which is really good. But then like this one's kind of meh, you know? Recruit rank, there's the heavy Athilmar army's good. But then you get like, I don't know, max hero recruit rank. You get you get speed. It's, and then number 4 is more on like the big units, So like you'll get bonuses to the big units. But I mean, it's not terrible. It's not as bad as say the vampires. But you know, it's not great. It could use some redo. But yep, got to do cultural advancements. After that, I usually go for spear wall just to get me some extra strength on my spearmen, or I'll do naval discipline for Lothan Seaguard. But I usually do archer prowess or spear wall. Considering I have I start with a bunch of archers, I usually do archer prowess, and then I do spear wall. But again, you know, as Alarielle, you're not going to be using spearmen early game because you have access to dryads. You do need to have a little bit of spearmen just to cover the flanks, but usually it's spearmen, dryads, and then some archers to help out your Sisters of Avalorn. But you're going to want to keep the Sisters, the Treekin, and your Handmaiden, as well as Alarielle herself, alive, because those are your most valuable units starting out. But after you take Everqueen, and then Phoenix Gate is probably going to be your biggest hurdle, because they have a garrison in there, and usually that Dark Elf faction, I think it's Scourge of Cain, right? Yeah. They usually put an army of at least 10 or 12 stack there, making it to where you have to sit here and recruit, because you can only sit here for the reinforcements not to be able to hit you, you know? And then you just sit there and recruit, and then hopefully launch an attack on Phoenix Gate to be able to take it. Once you take it, you're pretty much free game to just wail on the Scourge of Cain out here, you know, and then it's free game. By that time, Trace usually keeps Nikari from expanding too much, and then you can kick him out. And then the biggest problem you got to deal with is Noctilus down here raiding Ulthuan, because of Defender of Ulthuan here, Alarielle gets a diplomatic debuff, control debuff, construction cost, and income debuff whenever Ulthuan is not held entirely by High Elves. Now, you get a bigger buff the more provinces you own, but as long as it's all owned by High Elves, you get a positive. Mortal Woes Torment doesn't really come into play until the later turns, and it's not that significant of a debuff once Chaos gets, you know, sweeping more. With Warhammer 3, it's measured with how much Chaos Corruption, I think it's just regular Chaos Corruption, is present. Like, you know, undivided Chaos Corruption. I don't think it counts the individual ones. Alright, so that's pretty much her starting campaign. Once you get through Phoenix Gate, you pretty much can just steamroll, and then you have to look out for Noctilus down here raiding Ulthuan, because he'll usually snipe Kalador. Lothern usually stays strong, though, and then of course there might be some orcs that raid over here, and Nikari might be a problem, but he usually isn't. And then of course there's Morathi over here that comes and raids Ulthuan too, so you'll be fighting to like keep Ulthuan from being raided. But so that's pretty much the start of her campaign. Pretty simple, a little bit of a hurdle once you get to Phoenix Gate. Once you get past it, you'll pretty much just steamroll everyone, because by then your economy's kicked into gear, and Alarielle has a 20 stack. You're probably by then recruiting another 20 stack, and you'll just, you know, if you maintain good relations with the High Elves around here, which it'll be pretty easy if you're fighting their enemies, you know, bar Safari for some reason just hates you. You know, you'll probably be secure in Avalorn, because you're so deep into Ulthuan that the enemy has to come through Lothern, which already starts really good relations with you and will only keep improving, and then they have to go through these ones and all the gates, so you're pretty secure. You know, you just have to take that Phoenix Gate and you're good. Alrighty, so now that I've done that, I'm going to show you some tiers. So let's get into the first tier. Alright, and here we are with our tier 1 guys. So we kind of just sat in our province recruiting as much as we could, and I waited for him to take his bigger army out. So yeah, he only brought a rank 1 guy here. So and again, it's just about to turn tier 2 next turn, so I had to take it this time. And she's only gained a few recruit ranks. She's still got her staff, and our army composition is as follows. We have about 6 Dryad units, 4 Spearmen, our Sisters of Avalon, of course. Then we have about 5 archers with light armor. We have Illyrian Reavers and our Treekin. So this is pretty much the type of armor you're going to want to have, is using the Dryads as like your main line, Spearmen on the side. Use your Sisters of Avalon in the back with some light armor archers. Your Illyrian Reavers you can take or give, but I usually like them in the open combat because they do have a pretty decent charge bonus for starting cavalry. So they do some pretty good hammer and anvil with them. And then of course Treekin, can't really get rid of them because they're a tier 2 unit. They're really good. So we're going to go into this battle against these 2 enemy forces, because this is our way to break through. It's only decisive because I have it on easy. If it was on normal, it probably would be like a close victory. Alright, and now, as you can see, the auto-resolve is a lot more even though it is technically in our favor. A lot of times when you have easier difficulties, it's going to favor you in the auto-resolve heavily. So I forgot to turn it off easy. It's my bad. I usually have it on normal. But as Legend of Total War once says, it's usually he sees it as a fun slider. So I like to have more fun when I'm just relaxing playing the game. So I have it on easy. Forgot to turn it back. My bad. Anywho, so what we've got because the Dryads have Vanguard deployment because of a right that we've enacted. They also have a bunch of bonuses. So the invocation, greater invocation of Isha that she has, gives her Treekin units regeneration, which is a big bonus. They get regeneration, they get Vanguard. They also, I think they get fear. Yeah, they get cause fear and physical resist. But I think they start with physical resist. But it does buff them up quite a bit. Even though they are flammable, their weakness to fire, that regeneration is insane. And that also goes for the Treekin, so they have it too. So because they have Vanguard deployment, we're going to keep them up here, and they're going to charge right in and break through the gate here. And then we're going to have our archers in the back, firing up and over. Alarielle herself has only a few spells. She has just her first tree, so Earthblood, her Spaz Protection, and her 2 constant effects whenever she casts one. She does have the Boon of Isha, which gives magical attacks to allies around, so that's cool. But the Handmaiden's gonna become very, very good at keeping back with the archers later in the game. You're gonna find that they're gonna be almost imperative at keeping, the archers doing really good. Here's our Sisters of Avalon, ready to fight. Alright. Let's get started, shall we? Drive these bastard dark elves from our lands. No, I don't want that. I want to scale the walls.
Illyrian Reavers!
For order!
Forward! Advancing! For duty! We away! Setting forth!
Alright, we'll get the Dryads up there. They have regeneration, so they're going to be able to do a lot. We're going to take some casualties because, again, it's a siege battle because we're fighting to take the Phoenix Gate. That way we can secure our slope to Zerg rush our campaign. Alright. Isn't it kind of funny, these Dryads, living pieces of wood are climbing wood? Are they climbing on their flesh, or I don't know. That's stuff to think when you think, stuff to think about. The more you know. All right. We do have to get them over here though, because they're gonna suffer fighting these guys here. These Black Ark Corsairs are gonna do a lot of damage to them. We can fight the Black Ark Corsairs. That's the thing, is we have a bunch of archers that can do a lot of damage.
You're in there!
Can I be praised?
Oh god, they're being attacked already. Oh my god. Get out of there. Jeez, they took a lot of damage already.
Isha's chosen.
Heal them up, man. They need some healing. Let's put protection on these guys.
Spearmen! March! Death to all! Understood! Kill them! Spearmen!
Oh no, let's actually get them up here.
Loyal! It will be done! Understood!
For duty! Setting forth! We will obey!
Yes! Spearmen!
Alright, we got through.
Illyrian Reavers! To the fray!
Alright. Let's get these dryads down now. They've broken through. We've taken the capture points too. A lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of high elf gameplay is like just picking your archers where to fire. Okay, Illyrian Reavers just keep chasing them down.
Spearmen!
Alarielle the Everqueen.
Let's heal up some more dryads. There we go. Gave these guys some protection so that they could hit enemies. Yeah, we're doing really good. We're doing Assyrians' work right now.
Devoted servant!
Yeah, but they got their bonus now.
Isha!
Spearmen! Onward! It will be done!
Yeah, let's get these guys down here.
Assyrian guides us!
Wielder of the winds. My power.
Alright, let's focus fire now.
Duty calls.
We gotta focus fire on these guys.
As you say!
No, we can't go to dread spears now. No, get away from the dread spears.
Quickly now! Asa, advance!
I mean, yeah, I can help, but we need to take the dark shards. That's the best. That's the best one we need to take.
Yes. I accept. Orders.
Archers! Understood! Kill them! Yes!
Let's see if we can take them down.
Light of Avalon.
Let's see who's down there. Let's get them all protected. Get them healing up. That's what I like about Earthblood. You can just heal them all up.
Loyal! By your command!
Let's get them. Get those dark shards. There we go. That might have broken them. Yeah, there we go. They're shattered now. And there we go. We broke through. Bit of a slog. Took some heavy casualties on certain units, but we did do pretty well. Alrighty. They're falling back. They're fleeing like... Oh, man. Her Dryads did so well as well. So, like I said, Alarielle has access to some pretty powerful units in the early game, so she's able to really turn the tide. And also, her healing ability just means she can buff her army so much, with giving her them Vows Protection as well as a AOE heal. It does well to keep the army buffed up and going, because I think Earthblood restores. No, it just restores hit points. But yeah, it helps, especially when there's single entities involved, or even these ones, because it still does help, even though it doesn't, resurrect combatants like it's not an insane heal like the vampires that resurrects combatants, but it's still a pretty good heal. Alrighty, so that was a tier 1. I'm gonna go through the campaign a little bit, then I'll show you a tier 2. And we're back here with a tier 2. So a lot of things has happened since then. Alarielle's gotten a lot more ranks. Nakari's just kind of sat here. He hasn't really done anything, so I thought I'd attack him. Though he has gotten some higher tier units to join his little faction here, but he's still got a majority of tier 1, a few tier 3s that he started with, and then of course himself is pretty beefy. But I picked up the Sword of Cain because I went and I attacked the Shrine of Cain, and I occupied it instead of looting it, and it was fully intact. So it was already at tier 2 when I got it. I was like, what the hell? So the enemy had been pumping that one up to try to get the Sword of Cain themselves, and I was able to steal it from them. So anywho, for our army, again, Alarielle and her handmaiden hasn't really changed much since then. We also have 2 Silvering Guard, which are available from a tier 3 barracks. So I usually tier 3, that's when it'll be like a tier 2 unit, tier 2, tier 3. Even though Silvering Guard are considered tier 3, they're at a tier 3, they're at the tier 3 barracks building. So they're still considered a tier 2 unit. Tier 2 and 3 is a tier 2 unit. Tiers 4 and 5 for the High Elves are the tier 3 units for them. So I have Silvering Guard, 2 of them for the flanks, and then I have White Lions of Trace, which are in a tier 3 White Lion building. I have about 6 of them. And of course I have my Sisters of Avalor, which have a whole lot of rank. And then I have Lothran Sea Guard with shields, which are pretty good. They're decent. They're better than regulars. And then of course we have our Treekin. We have doubled up on Treekin. I'm going to hand out my banners. Okay, then the last one, yeah, we'll just do that to one of these, the biggest one. Alrighty, and then we're going to attack Nakari here, just wipe him out of Ulthuan. Alright, and here we are with that tier 2 army. So, like I said, we're gonna put ourselves up on the heights here. Nakari himself is going to be the most dangerous target right now, and if we can kill him, then we'll be good. There is a few, like the Forsaken will be a problem, but we have some magic. We have access to magic, the magic, fire, and of course we can imbue our troops with Alarielle with magic. I believe it's when they're just by her. Yeah, they get magical attacks. The boon of Isha. So, but also we have Fiery Conviction, which is bound. I think it's to an item she got. Her staff. We have the Sword of Cain, of course, which is going to be really awesome. And of course, Alarielle has an insane amount of weapon strength now, so she could probably hold her own as well. But we don't want to lose her, because then we lose the Sword of Cain. Alrighty, so let's go over this battle against Nakari. Let's see if he'll move. It will move towards us. Let's move. Oh no. I think it was. What was it? Control? No. Yeah, it was that. Yeah, that'll work. That way we can move all of them at once. That's a neat trick, having shift and control while you select units. You can move them all at once. Oh, he's just sitting there now. See, he's got those fiends, which are going to be a pain in the dick. But if we stay close together, we should be good. I'm gonna send Alarielle out. How many charges does this have? I don't think it has any. I need to fire conviction on them. Or I could do banishment as well. Banishment does well. I thought I had magical attacks. Oh, it does. Yes, it does do magical damage. Because it's literally like banishing demons. Let's do that on the fiends. Dum-dums. If I can, reach them. The thing is, the demon army doesn't have any range, so it's like, it's just Slaanesh has this insane amount of speed. So they would catch up to her if they decided to move forward. Oh, and it's going up towards the demonettes. And they're just standing there. Okay. They're just standing there. Don't know why, but they are. Okay. Do fiery conviction, I guess. Maybe this will convince them to move. Still nothing. That's doing a lot of damage to his units. Like they're breaking. They're literally breaking, falling apart. And he's not doing nothing. Okay. You win.
It will be done. White lions.
Oh, okay. Now you're coming forward. Okay. Let's see if I can kill Nakari before he kills me.
Ready. Attack. High priestess.
Enemy mages! Enemy mages!
Under her protection. The right.
There we go. Nakari's going down.
Forward. Under her protection.
Nakari's going down. Bye, Nakari. There we go. Let's heal up Alarielle. Heal her up a little bit. And these demonettes went down too, so that's good.
Light of Avalon.
Alright, that's good. It's good. Hellstriders. Hellflayers. No, don't do that. Don't fall back. Just loose your arrows.
Alarielle the Everqueen.
Okay. Alright, and then we got our white lions dealing a lot of armor piercing. Should be able to deal with these Forsaken pretty easily. We dealt with Nakari because he just, bum rushed us. Nakari's pretty scary with how much damage he can do, but he's a glass cannon. If you can bait him into a trap, you can deal with him really easily.
Loyal, as you say.
My power is yours. Araya! going abroad.
Now let's deal with those guys first.
Death to all!
Northern Sea Guard. Loyal for order.
Kill them!
Alright. Let's deal with these guys first. We'll do AoE heal on this side. Yeah, these guys will need it. And then we'll do Fiery Conviction again on these guys. Yeah, let's deal with them some damage. 'Cause they are hurting our White Lions a lot.
For the king!
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that helped them out a lot. And there we go. That's pretty much Slaanesh dealt with. Oof. There we go. I got a little scared there. I thought my White Lions were going to break there for a moment. But we started off pretty strong, even though Alarielle was losing that fight in the Nakari. Because Nakari is just that powerful. Even her with the Sword of Cain, ramped up to 750 weapon strength, she still can't go toe-to-toe with him without taking a decent amount of health. Because she's just not built for that. So, lesson of the day, don't take her into melee combat, boys. Alrighty, so that's a tier 2. I'll do some magic on the campaign. We'll go to a tier 3. Alright, Strat fans, and here I am with a tier 3 now. I've been chasing Noctilus for quite a while here. And he's evaded my capture. And he hasn't fought anything, but he's just been like building up units and trying to hit other settlements. But I finally cornered him here, and he wasn't able to recruit that much up. So it should be a pretty easy victory, but I still want to just show you this whole army setup. So I got some Swordmasters of Hoeth, which are probably the better unit to use for her, because she does, she doesn't buff up either them or Phoenix Guard, but with their little shield from their deflecting stance, it makes them better. So good frontline unit, but you only have 6 of them, so that I can make room for my archers, which are going to be buffed up insanely because of our Handmaiden and because of her own stuff. We have Everqueen's Court Guards, and of course we have Hawkish Precision granted by our Handmaiden here. That's going to increase our missile damage armor piercing by 15% more. So it's going to be insane how much armor piercing missile damage we do. And then we have a couple Star Dragons, and then 4 Treemen that are just going to be able to tank everything. Of course, with regeneration and everything as well, because we have that right unlocked again. I'm going to give her the staff, and I'm going to give this to one of the Treemen. And let's go in. Alright, so here we are. Let me just set up my forces real quick. Now, I've been chasing and fighting Noctilus. I haven't wiped him yet, but I've been fighting him, and he keeps falling back, saving his precious units every single time. So that's why he's got very low levels, because I haven't given him much chance to level up. And that's also why he has shit units, because I haven't really given him a chance to do that. I've literally chased him all over Ulthuan, and sometimes that can happen when you're doing things like this. He does have reinforcements coming in from the Dread Fleet, but all these units, most of them, he just had to recruit units that he could, because every time he'd get good units, I'd wipe him out. So he's only been able to save his Colossus because he always kept it back. His AI would keep it back, and then he had the Depth Guard as well that I was not able to get last time. Alrighty, so we're gonna keep the Handmaiden back here. She grants Hawkish Precision to all of these guys, so they're going to be able to do a whole lot more damage now. Alrighty, let's start a battle. Now, Alarielle herself is on her Eagle. About a minute or so is when our other stuff's going to come in. We're going to send our Swordmasters up here, with these guys back here, a Treeman over here. And then Alright, we're moving all of them up. Now when they come in, we're going to have to try to, I'm just going to try to at least kill the Colossus.
Alarielle the Everqueen.
I want to get the Colossus dead. I made that mistake all this time. Oh, jeez, it's already firing at me. That's the thing, the Vampire Course has a very, very good missile damage. So any big monster like Alarielle is going to suffer from it. Alright, let's do the Sword of Cain. Try to cause madness in their ranks.
By Isha.
Oh, they're doing... Oof, oof. 32 seconds.
Isha, guide me.
Firing Conviction. Let's get these guys up here to do a Dragon Breath.
The Everqueen.
Swordmaster Ulthuan, as you say.
Get the tree men over here. Take out those scurvy dogs. In fact, maybe we should fire at the scurvy dogs too.
Yes. Duty calls. It shall be. Very well. Orion.
Okay.
Ready.
Swordmaster Ulthuan. To battle! Loyal! As you say.
Oh, this is not looking good.
Swordmaster Ulthuan.
Why is our Swordmaster over here? They should be over here.
Awaiting orders. Orders.
Okay. No, Alarielle, get out of there. Heal yourself. Give the protection.
Swordmaster Ulthuan.
For duty! Following orders!
To battle! Without question.
Ulthuan's queen.
Alright, and we're going to focus on the Necrofex first. Let's get that focused down. Let's do this. Get that Necrofex down. That's causing the biggest amount of damage right now. Yeah, there we go. There, now it's dying. Now it's not escaping this battle. We have all of these guys. There we go. Did give us some deckhands though.
Ready. Kill them.
This literally is where all the power goes.
Alarielle. Chasing them.
It will be done. For the king.
Yeah, there we go. This army's dealt with.
Swordmaster Ulthuan.
Let's turn around and deal with the other army now.
Swiftly.
Oh, they just all died. Alrighty. So that's our tier 3. Again, not the most fair of fights, because I kept bullying Noctilus. He wasn't able to recruit his good stuff, because I went and took out his home province, so he was just literally just running from me. He took Vol's anvil, and then I moved in to take him. So that's pretty much that's a tier 3. very, very powerful ranged, and coupled with those treeman units, you're just able to tank so much damage as well. Alrighty, so now I've showed you all the tiers. Let's wrap this up.
Alarielle, the Everqueen.
Alright, everyone, and that does it with my Alarielle Lord Guide. So, like, just to recap, Alarielle has a lot of very powerful bonuses to her tree people units. Dryads, treekin, treemen. You always want to incorporate them in her army. You use the other high elf units, including the Sisters of Avalorn, to complement them. Sisters of Avalorn will be your best friend because Alarielle buffs them the best. And then, of course, uniting all of Ulthuan, that's her goal. And she's a very powerful caster, but keep her out of melee combat. But if you can, she has access to the Sword of Cain really easily too, really from the get-go, so you can use that to steamroll as well. And she's got a pretty decent power creep. Not too easy, not too hard, but I think anybody can enjoy her and master her as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. And remember, if you enjoy what I do, to like, maybe comment, share the video with your friends. Let me know how I'm doing. And again, I thank you so much for watching. Keep it strategic, Strat fans. Colonel out. Say bye-bye, Ashes.